Next Gen Tech Talks podcast, where we share insights and tips from the best in business.
I'm your host, Gulatrat, and today we have a very special guest with us. He is Dileep Singh, Principal Program Manager Lead on Power Pages at Microsoft, who oversees some of the most innovative and impactful projects in the tech industry. Dileep, thank you for joining us today. So, without further ado, let's deep dive into the conversation with Dileep. Dileep, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, man. It's like super exciting to be here, talking to you and to everyone.
Yes. First, let's start the conversation in this way. My audience would like to know actually how you feel in Microsoft and you're in the team, and how is your journey so far? Maybe you want to give a crisp overview. I think that would be fine.
Yep. No, it's actually pretty interesting. So this is literally my first job. I joined Microsoft out of college in 2011 in Dynamics team. So I've not even changed teams since like 13 years now. So essentially, I joined as a PM in customer service team back in the day. Just when like CRM 2011 was launched. Then I moved to US in 2015. This was the time when Microsoft had acquired Parature for customer service, the customer self-service functionality. And in the same year, we acquired ADX Studio, which is now known as like Power Pages. So in 2015, I actually started working on ADX Studio. And since then, I have not left Power Pages. So 13 years in Microsoft, right out of college, all in the same group in a way. And then since 2015, I've been doing Power Pages. We just keep on changing the name every couple of years so that look feels like a new product. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to work in this space and see this evolving like over time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's great. And it's really a long journey, I will say. Yeah, I remember we were using ADX portal, and then it came to Power Apps portal, then now Power Pages. So what you feel actually? Earlier, I remember these things are there, and over the period, it got transformed. So what the transformative journey looking into the future vision actually on this?
See, it has always been interesting. So if you remember the world in 2015 or 16, right, when it was ADX Studio, pretty much we were focused on dynamics. Like we were focused on, hey, customer service, let's build customer self-service, marketing, let's build event management, landing pages, right? It was all focused on like specific, well-defined business apps. And then the world learned about low code or no code. And essentially we realized that, hey, a lot of our tech stack is essentially used in a way that it's not tied to a well-defined business app. Like we were doing customer self-service for sure, but then people are building application submissions, people are building event registration. So any type of custom scenario. So that was our foray into the low code world. And started with like being that's when like you saw the transformation into Power Apps portals, where we were like, hey, we want to go and target way more scenarios compared to what we do today. And then like essentially low code boom happened and everyone was talking about low code. And we were also trying to redefine how we want to do low code. So we went really deep into our low code like capabilities with Power Pages. So that's when we redefined the product. We said, no, let's be low code first, and then like everything else can come on top of it. And now since 2023, it's all like, again, the world has changed. Again, Gen AI came, the whole thing has to be redefined. So last 1.5 years, you would have seen us like changing the way like you build website. Like, the whole Power Pages Maker Copilot kind of took that low code into with like steroids, right? Like it got injected with steroids. So now you don't have to even build web pages. You can just describe them and it builds it for you. So that's what I see happening. Like today, we have done a lot in improving our low code story by using Copilot so that like you can build like sites faster. But where we will be going next, or at least I feel like where you will see like a lot more things coming into, is how you can build those like compelling user experiences. Like how do you build this like Copilot stuff into your end user experiences? Because whatever work your customers are doing on the website, how do you make that simpler for them? Like how do you improve their experiences? That's where like a lot of our next set of investment are going to be. So you'll see like a lot of new things coming into there. Some of the things we don't even know whether they're gonna work or not, but we are gonna try anyways because this is the time to try it out. Like there's so much this tech offers that we have to go and figure out like what's the best way of using it.
Yeah, that's interesting actually. Maybe I think we will wait to try out what new coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Sorry, you were saying something?
No, I was saying yes. It's not that far away. It's like see, when I joined in 2011, we used to ship every 3 years. Then it changed to every 6 months. Then it
Yeah.
changed to every 3 months. Now we literally ship every month. So it's not that far away. Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. So I hear you mention there are we're looking towards actually to make it low code and all these things. Actually, uh, if we think in a I'm thinking from the end user perspective. Why Power Pages? There are a number of AI tools actually in the market. They claim to build website in Ziffy actually. What's the unique in Power Pages and why customers will look towards Power Pages? I think that's few of the questions even I face when I meet to the customers. Customers have this question: why I will use Power Pages? So, what's your take on this?
Right. So I think there are four main like value prop we always talk about. So one, like first and foremost is obviously the low codability of it. Like how fast can you build? And these are not just static page websites, right? Like for
Mm,
example, you can go to a lot of these like tool builders or like website builders, and they'll help you generate like amazing looking sites in like few minutes. But see, those are one static content. Like those are just landing pages, right? Like you have to go connect to your business data. That's
yeah,
like again, it's gonna take you like a month to do that. Like I have one of the customers who essentially like they have this like a SQL database where they store like a lot of their ticket information, kind of like a custom CRM, homegrown stuff. And now they wanted to expose like a web form so people can submit tickets or they can view their tickets, and that thing is going to take them months and months to build because they have to go build like an API layer which provide like
yeah,
security to data access, and that's the thing we solve for. We essentially not only make it low code so it becomes faster, but our second biggest value prop is you can connect to all your business data. And that means like everything right now. You can connect to everything in Dataverse, all of your dynamic stuff, but we are also exposing it to external data sources, right? So you have SQL servers, which are available as virtual table. You have Fabric, you have like our Salesforce virtual table, which we recently launched. And then there are more of these coming in. And also like the Power Automate integration. So basically Power Platform is known for data connectors, 1000 plus, 1200 plus data connectors today. I keep on missing that number because it changes every day. So right now it's 1200 plus, and all of those connectors are available to be used in Power Pages using our Power Automate integration. So those kind of things make your life very, very easy as an enterprise. And then third biggest thing I'll say is security. So this is a thing which is top of everyone's mind, especially cybersecurity in this era is the key. And Power Pages, one of the most important thing Power Pages do for you as an enterprise is it gives control in your hand. Like biggest question I ask like all my customers is, if tomorrow your enterprise decides, hey, tell me all your websites which you are running, which one has anonymous data access, and block it. It will take you months to do it. In Power Pages, it's like one flag. You have to go to Admin Center, just look at which ones have it enabled and turn off the flag, and everything gets disabled. So those kind of like security patterns is something we build it, like we are bringing uniquely to the platform. Like even other functionality like WAF, we are trying to democratize that. Hey, everyone should use WAF. So those kind of things we are even offering without any licensing, right? So we are hoping that that's going to improve security posture of all enterprises. And last but not the least is Copilot. That is unique to Microsoft. That's probably one of the things where we are leaps and bounds ahead of any other provider in the world. Yes, a lot of people can do AI, a lot of people can do GPT related stuff, but not to the extent Microsoft had gone into. And that means like not only using this tech in innovative ways, but also using it in responsible ways. So responsible AI, the security posture of this, ensuring that we hallucinate less and less and less. All of these things is something Microsoft putting like a lot of effort into. So that's differentiating Power Pages too. So I'll say, yeah. So those are the
Mm.
four things. It makes you like build it faster. It will make sure you can connect to all your data. It will make it way more secure than it is today for any custom website development. And last is like your Copilot. Like that will improve building experience as well as end user experience.
Yeah, I think that's great. So I think who are viewing this podcast, they may be knowing what's the difference. And this thing popping in the mind, I think now it is quite clear actually why Power Pages is way ahead than normal websites everyone builds. Thanks for the insights, actually, Dilip. Okay, in that note, you mentioned the Copilot. Last point, I want to tap onto that. So we heard that Copilot burst is across the places, and how Power Pages looking into the security aspect, because it's a co-pilot, it's a AI stuff, and AI has its own security buzzwords coming to mind, people like responsible AI and other things. Then it's a public facing also, the website part. So how the security is all about in Power Pages? One through some
Right.
light for me.
So that's actually a very, very important question, right? So Copilot gives us a lot of power, and as you know, like great power comes with great responsibilities. Very first thing I think when we started on this Copilot journey was how do we ensure that we put a responsible AI layer into every Copilot functionality? So whenever we are building these functionalities, like internally, what we do is like a process of reviews. And one of the biggest review or one of the biggest time it takes for us to go do these reviews is responsible AI. So we test it against like hundreds and hundreds of prompts. We have built out like meta prompts and infrastructure which actually identifies these anomalies and then like ensure that we are able to go reduce the occurrences of it and eliminate it in most cases. And then for end user experiences, one of the things we did was we essentially pivoted on RAG pattern a lot. So, for example, the site Copilot experience, which has been exposed in Power Pages today, what it does is, in order to ensure that as a user, you only see the data you have access to, it uses RAG pattern. So every time you'll ask it a question, it first go to one of our like a semantic search data, like semantic search functionality, which we have. It will find the correct data based on the permissions, the table permissions you have set up for your website for that end user. And then we'll take that data and inflate it or like try to generate the content out of it using Gen AI. So this pattern is essentially ensuring that end user only see the content which they have access to, but it gets summarized in like a very layman term. So let's say if you're building sites for like an audience which is not that techy, but your content is a lot tech oriented, then you can utilize this pattern to ensure that the data which they are getting access to is still like all your technical content, but the content gets summarized in a simplified manner to them. So a lot of like prompts people have tried, right? Like, hey, summarize this to my 3-year-old. So those kind of tones and patterns you are able to go add to the content without like redefining the content from scratch. So this whole like RAG pattern is helping us ensuring that the data is always secure. So authorization layer is throughout like all our Copilot experiences too.
Okay. I think that's really great actually. What is coming up, and hopefully we will move towards more innovations in this AI space, because it's now really Copilot, Copilot, Copilot. Everywhere is Copilot is all about.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. Actually, you mentioned also there are different data sources we can connect in Power Pages. Maybe you want to say something on this actually. What are the different data sources we can connect?
Yes.
Few of the things you mentioned earlier also in the flow, but you want to explicitly mention what are the things? Yep, over to you.
Yeah. So there are essentially external data is like a big thing for us, right? Because that is a very difficult problem to
Yeah.
solve for websites. So what we are doing is there are two patterns which we are like doing in Power Pages. One is you can utilize Power Automate flows. So Power Automate flows will allow you to connect to any data connector, right? And this is more of like a ProNav pattern. Like you use Power Automate as an API layer, and can build like any UI on top of it. So, for example, we shipped DocuSign integration some time back, which utilizes this pattern where Power Automate acts as an API, connect to DocuSign, and then it displays the content in the UI. Then the other experience which we are doing is through virtual tables. Now, virtual table experience is essentially our no-code ability of connecting to data. So we have launched integrations with SQL Server. We have launched integration with Fabric, with SharePoint, with Salesforce very recently. And we are going to be soon launching one with Oracle as well, looking with Oracle databases. So that our aim is that you're able to like connect to any of these like tabular data providers like very easily. Like how you connect to a database table, similar way you connect to a table in your SQL Server. Utilize our forms, utilize our list, all the data components, utilize table permissions, so everything gets secured, and then use that data in Power Pages. And on top of that, one of the big things which we do is we actually, by using virtual table, you can ensure that table permissions of Power Pages are still honored. What that means is if you are using directly SQL Server, there is no authorization layer in SQL Server. Your external user is not a user of SQL Server, right? So there is no authorization layer. But if you use it through virtual tables for Power Pages, we will give you the table permissions for that. So we will generate an authorization layer for you. So that's like the unique value prop which we are adding through virtual tables. And yeah, like I will give an opportunity to everyone like who is listening to this. If you have any other provider in mind, you use Azure Tables, you use Cosmos DB, like we have ideas.powerpages.microsoft.com. Please add an idea. Like give us feedback on what next set of virtual tables you want to see, and we will add those. Because our aim is similar to how we have 1200 plus connectors. Maybe someday we'll have 100 plus virtual tables which are just automatically available to use.
Yeah, and I really add that point which Dilip mentioned last. Whoever viewing this, just keep the suggestions. I think that suggestions helps team to build, come up with the new ideas, new things, and that helps in return problems what general public faces, and that's really important. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and that's really great. Actually, we understand there are different data sources. It can be even on the table. There are a lot of new things are there, and that's great to know. And I'll move towards the next question, which is most likely, Microsoft Build is Build 2024 is coming up. So, what's your take on what are the new things coming on Power Pages part on Build?
Yeah, it's see, it's all the same four value props I talked about, right? So we are doing, I think our biggest investment in this build are gonna be in two areas. One big one is coming in our security workspace or in security layer. So one of the things which we are doing is essentially democratizing security for everyone. Today, security, everyone thinks, hey, it's job of like admins, right? Or a job of like some people in my organization. I shouldn't care about it. But to be honest, it doesn't work. Like everyone has to be responsible. It is like a team game, as like we always talk about it. So we are building a dedicated experience into Power Pages Studio, which covers all the security capabilities we offer. So this will cover everything from table permissions to web page permissions to like website permissions and like all of other things, right? Like WAF, it will cover a new functionality which we are actually launching, which is called security scanning. So you can do like dynamic DAST, while all within Power Pages, don't have to integrate any external tool. We essentially have provided an inbuilt tool so you can do like a security scanning for your website. It will generate a report. You can keep on running it on schedule. So keep on generating like new and new reports. Similarly, in WAF, we are actually GAing WAF by the way as well. And then we are also adding like capability to add custom rules. So now you'll be able to do like rate limiting rules. You'll be able to do like geolocation rules, like those kind of capabilities will come in. And we are also exposing a lot of our hidden site settings. That was like the major problem we had. We have tons of this functionality, but all somewhere in documentation. So this is the place where you'll see things ranging from our session timeouts to like inactive sessions to do forced session timeouts. Like all of those capabilities will get surfaced. And our aim is like over time, we will like add like a lot more like security related stuff like right within this place. So that is our biggest announcement. And then obviously there has to be Copilot. Tons of
Yeah.
Copilot stuff. We are redefining how we do search for the website. We are also doing like a security Copilot because now there are 20 Copilot, like 20 security functionality. If you ever get lost in it, you can ask the Copilot. It will help you understand, hey, how that works. And then data is like a big thing. So we just announced Fabric and Salesforce. It's actually live. You should play around with it. But we are also adding Oracle databases right at the time of build. So if you have an Oracle database, just like SQL Server, you can connect to that Oracle database too. So that's like another big functionality which we are adding right now.
Yeah, that's really great knowing all this new features that's coming in, and definitely we will see tools. Not only this, there are few more improvements on Power Pages, and in this space that is really helpful. This thing came to my mind, and the usability of the Power Pages. I heard one of the few of the solution architects say they, well, Power Apps has wrap feature, and sometimes they have to build the mobile app in that context. And to building the mobile app, and going to the licensing, going to public facing, if let's say they want to release their own apps, what they are using simply the Power Pages and embedding into the frame, and they're building, and that's really saving them from the licensing angle, which is really a good point, which I feel it's really great. And yeah, this is one of the feedback I will say. It is good part of our pages also, and good part for the users also, how to utilize the Power Pages also in the app segment. That's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
heard.
Right. We also offer actually a functionality. It's called so we do offer mobile apps with Power Pages as well. These are external facing mobile apps.
Right. Yeah.
And we offer it using a tech called Progressive Web Apps, PWAs, which essentially have existed since 2007, but they really took off in like 2015. So if you are trying to build like a mobile app, like try PWAs. Like it's no code. You have to write no code to do that. We offer an integration with an online service called pwabuilder.com. It's like an open source community powered by Microsoft, which will give you like app packages to like ship either to Android store or iOS store, even Windows store. Even supports like Meta stores. Like if someone is like using AR and VR stores of Meta, like it actually allows you posting to that too. And then you can always install it from within browser as well. So PW offer that uniqueness. So try that out. It's like a very low cost way of building like mobile apps. And you can add like a lot of functionality. You can add like device specific things. You can add like push notifications. Like all of that is possible to do. So it might be interesting for some folks if you are building like a simple mobile app and you want to give like to all your users and don't want to put like a lot of investment into building like native apps for various platforms. Like PWAs in Power Pages are a very, very easy way of doing it.
Yeah, that's also one of the information those who are not aware what exactly PWA. Maybe we can do the research and other things. And thanks for the insights actually. Okay, so far I think we discussed a lot of things. What is coming on Power Pages? What we took up a few of the questions to really to answer. Like there are different questions we discussed so far. So we expect everyone to go and try out. And the last question, Dileep, what is the take you want to give the suggestions to the viewers or any information? What you want to convey to the viewers?
The biggest thing I'll suggest is try out like Power Pages. So we
That's true.
actually offer developer plans. So this is part of same Power Apps developer plan, where you'll get not only just a developer environment, but something called developer websites. As a user, you can create like 9 developer websites and they never expire. So as long as you keep on using them, they will not expire. So it's kind of like a persistent trial of sort. Don't use it for production. That's something we don't want you to do. But that's a very good way of learning. Try them out. Play with all the functionality. Every functionality is enabled in it, including all the Copilot stuff too. So learn using that. And the biggest thing is now with Power Pages. Don't be like before, like you were always worried about, hey, if I'm doing it for external users, like it's a very different tech I have to go and figure out, especially like you will try to figure out like a pro dev tech of Azure App Service or something like that, don't worry about that. Like Power Pages will all make it happen for you. We host it, we manage it, we give you tools to secure it. So utilize that to build like compelling user experiences. Focus on user experience for your end users, and rest we'll take care of.
Yeah. Okay, I think you guys hear what Dileep has to say regarding the use of the Power Pages and other things, and we have a very healthy discussion on this. I'll just ask, maybe it's all the technical part without we covered whatever things. I want to say what is the day like of Dileep as a morning start till night? It's like personal. If you how much you want to answer, how much you can take, you are free to do that.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like most of the days are pretty much like calls whole day. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So my day usually starts like 8, or whenever my first meeting is, like 5 minutes before I'll wake up. So yeah, like not a early morning person at all. Then typically I work from home. I do go to office like a couple of days. Like apart from work, I guess my guilty pleasure is like essentially cricket. Like I play, I watch. So that's like the thing which I really like to do. Then I have a dog and a daughter. Like I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old dog. So that's pretty much consumes like 8 hours in a day. Like half of the time they are fighting. Like they were fighting just now. Like you guys read up heard background noise too. So yeah, pretty much like that's where like all my day goes.
That's interesting actually. And anyways, nowadays COVID made everyone to work. I will say maximum people work from home, and along with that, waking up early also. I think it's fine. It does not make sense as long as
Yeah, save like
everyone.
an hour on commute every day, man. It's like
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's all from our end, and thanks, Dileep, for joining us and giving us insights. And hopefully, viewers have some insights and some points what Dileep suggested. Go and try out Power Pages so that you will know what benefits it has. Even if you face any issues or anything, you can give your suggestions, which will be helpful to the product team. They can go ahead with give you more powers. Basically, as you can power to product team, they can empower you guys also revert back so that you will get better functionality, better features, and you can scale it across within your organization by yourself, wherever you want to use it. I think in that note, I want to close the session, and thanks everyone for joining this podcast and looking towards in the next podcast. And in that note, thank you, Dilip, for joining in this evening time, and have a great day ahead so far.
awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me, man. It was super awesome talking to you, and everyone. Like, thanks a lot for listening. And I hope to talk to you guys sometime in future as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Looking forward to see you on a new topic. Till then, bye bye.